Welcome back to another video. Now, a lot of people wanted the best daily driver, but a lot of people thought I would say the Corolla. Now, that's weird because I always said the Camry because, Corollas are smaller and Camrys are affordable. So, one person was in a predicament. They said they wanted something stylish, but they wanted something cheap, affordable, but they also wanted something they could tune. And that's a Corolla, right? So, you may say, well, how is a Toyota Corolla stylish? You're used to seeing the mopey, dopey faces, but there was one particular year of the Corolla which people they loved. I mean, it was one of my favorite generations of the Corolla. It was a very good year. And the minimum year here is 2000, best year for Toyota, 15. Yes, the 2015 Toyota Corolla. Now you may say, well, how is it stylish? You see these mopey ones and you're like, oh, well, how is that stylish? Well, there's one, they offered these mopey ones and then they offered the Corolla L. This stylish, handsome beast is the car which I would recommend for teens, right? So let me just kind of explain why this car is so amazing and why you should get it as your first car. So, first of all, you have stylish wheels here. You have this nice stylish silver line going over the grille, nice fog lights there. You can see a very aggressive face, and it's a pretty car, I mean, you've got your fog lights down here, headlights, center grille in typical Toyota fashion, then your bottom thing here. Roadkill does sometimes get swept up in there, but it's easy to clean. And then down here you've got your red Corolla S badge, and then your happy Toyota taillights. Now you can see it's bumpy. You do actually have wind flares, like the Toyota Prius from 2010 to 2015 also had this feature, so that during aerodynamics while you're driving, it just kind of, so you have these kind of flares here to make sure that your aerodynamics stay up while you're driving, which leads to better fuel economy. And you can see this is not this isn't your 2005 Chevrolet Malibu where you get in and the cheap fake plastic wood trim is already falling off. You can see nice, sleek design, and especially if you're trying to convince your parents to buy this car, it has leather, it has all the features you want, but not too featureful where it looks too fancy, right? You can drive this to high school every day, it'll keep running, and, right, let's say you want to do some modifications. The Corolla is probably the widest supported car ever in the used parts network because it's the most sold car ever, right? So you have a backup camera, CD player, your buttons and tune knobs there. This is the black leather interior. I'd recommend getting a different color. I don't really like black leather interiors, but we can see I would really get the L, right? Like one of these. The Corolla S the S. The Corolla S Premium was a little bit nicer. A lot of them had this black fabric to it. I really wish they came in a more different color. A lot of them are really the same, but I do want to warn you though, let's say you need a Corolla L, right? Let's say, like this is your ultimate guide to a Corolla here. Let's say you want to get something lower like a Corolla L. We can see this one's been modded. It's just not going to be as nice. It's going to be worn down, And if you need a car, right, so like this is the best daily driver Corolla you can find, right? It's the most moddable, it's the prettiest, it's the nicest Corolla you can have. Now, if you want a Corolla that's slightly older, so let's say you can afford this model, of course, cars.com. Let's say you can afford this model, but you can only afford the cheapest model, right, like the L. Instead of getting an L, this is not an L, this is a LE, very big difference. So yeah, this one has the beige cloth interior. I would get the beige cloth over the thing, it just looks better, right? Let's say you would get something like this. If you can get the LE, right, that's good. But if you can either get the L, if the L is the only model you can afford, I would jump down back to 2010. Why would I drop back to 2010? Because the Corolla this year becomes less of a daily driver and more of a sports car. Now, you may say, well, what do you mean? Like, actually, what do you mean? Well, I mean, it got less economical, it got less comfortable in the interior, but it got a lot lighter, and it got a lot cheaper, right? So this is a Corolla S, and you can see it just has your standard Toyota radio, nothing fancy, but you can see the back, it's nice, right? And there's a lot of car markets. You can see it already has some aftermarket looking, even though they were sold to the consumer with those on. Flares there. It's a very nice and stylish car, and because the interior is so cheap and bottom down, like I said with the Yaris, you can modify whatever you want. You can put a new radio in, you can put a new cluster on, you can put a new everything. So, this car is very heavily aftermarket supported, which is why I'd always recommend a Corolla if you want less of a daily driver or you want a cheaper daily driver, right? Now, this is the latest generation I would go right here. That is the absolute latest I would even consider. Because as you see, when we drop down to 2005, side airbags are not standard. I mean, they're not standard. So let's say you get something nice like this LE. You see this, you're like, oh yeah, I want that. That looks like a nice car. You see it, it's just old. And if we look at the price, this thing is... Does it not have a price? It doesn't have a price. Of course I clicked on the only one that's inquire. $7,000 for this 2005 Toyota Corolla S. You can see it doesn't even have steel wheels like this Corolla S does, the 2010. And you're already paying $7,999 when this car is cheaper, right? So this generation with standard side airbags, as they were required by the U.S. government in 2009, is cheaper than this 2005 Toyota Corolla S. So this car actually costs more for being a worse daily driver. Now, let's say you want something newer than 2015, which I really wouldn't recommend, because the 2015 was the best model year, in my opinion, for the Corolla. It was a fantastic model year. Toyota really hit it home. Now, I wouldn't recommend, I would skip from 2015, from 2018 to 2019. I would skip those generations. Those weren't really good. But the 2020 Toyota Corolla brought something new. Now, I wouldn't recommend the 2020 Toyota Corolla unless two reasons. First of all, I would not get the LE. I would not get the lower trims. The SE is the absolute lowest of a trim I would go. It still has cloth seats. It still has a nice interior. Bigger screen than the new one, actually. I don't know what Toyota's doing. But yeah, so I kind of would recommend these. Kind of. Like I said before, I wouldn't get anything lower than an SE, just for the styling. I mean, the SE is much better than any of the other models. But what you really want to look at for, and what a lot of people really, really want, is the hybrid, right? So you might think, oh, well, it came in hybrid, yes, and they're like 16 grand. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot. You're like, oh, well, it's just a 2020 for 16 grand? Now, you may say, oh, well, this is an LE. I thought you said only to get SE and above. They only came in LE. Just forget about that tool. When it comes to the hybrids, they only came in LE. The car can't help it, right? So this is an amazing, amazing, amazing example of how to just hit it right. So you have this nice, stylish exterior, the nice hybrid rims, everything, nice interior leather, actually, on an LE. I don't know what they were. I think they wanted to make people think it was cheap, right? So you have no, it is cloth, isn't it? Partial cloth, partial leather, I think. Partially digital gauge cluster, nice shifter, nice clock, nice everything. It's just an overall really nice car. So this is your ultimate buyer's guide to buying the Toyota Corolla. It's had some amazing generations. It's had some not so great generations. And yeah, now you may say, well, I want a beater. 2010. $5,000. You can't beat that. You can't. And now let's say you want an actual beater. This technically isn't a Corolla, but I'm going to include it anyway since it is the best Toyota beater you can have. If you want a beater, don't get a Corolla. Now you're looking at me and you're like, why did I get a Corolla? The Corolla's the most reliable car in the world. One word, Tercel. The Toyota Tercel will kick ass. It'll kick the Corolla. In terms of lasting, the Tercel, no matter how incredibly rare they are, will outlast every other car. The Tercel is wonderful. See, that seat is what the Tercel stands for, being the absolute cheapest car you can buy. Plastic, frowny bumper, and you've already thrown safety out the window. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? Roll down windows, this moldy fabric that's wrapped up with plastic wrap, this back seat, and they are not cheap. Now I say $549. That's not expensive. When I can get a 2010 with modern everything and curtain airbags for $5,995, $490 doesn't seem like that great, right? So this is your ultimate buyer's guide to the Corolla. This is obviously the best model, right? Oh, this is absolutely the worst Corolla I would get of this model year. This is the beater Corolla if you need one, just to get around town, or you want to, clap it out, make it a horsepower, This is the absolute newest Corolla I would get, even with the artifacting there. There we go, it's gone. And this is this is my top pick, the Corolla Hybrid. I mean, it's Prius without a Prius, and that's not the worst thing in the world. So, like always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. I really appreciate you watching my videos. I would like some creative feedback, though, on how I can change my videos, because I noticed that I'm getting a lot of views, but I'm stuck at 23, 24 subscribers. So I want to know what my subscribers want for me to change my editing style, which I have none, for me to, because, like, I like to leave my videos unscripted, right? Just purely just me talking to you and on the internet, on the interwebs, about stuff, right? That's why I don't edit my videos, because I want to leave in the bloops. I want to leave in when I mispronounce things. I feel like it'll be too professional, but if you want to if you want me to bring my editing quality up, because I'm sitting in front of two computers, I can obviously do that, and I have a perfectly good camera. If you want me to bring my content quality up, I can definitely do that. I can do whatever you want. So just find my latest short and comment on there, right? Because I don't know why it turns off the comments for these videos. It's really weird. I think it's because I have it set for kids, although that doesn't really make sense. So I will see you all guys. Oh, see? Would have cut that out. I will see you guys real soon. Thank you for watching.